Hey everybody, my name is Ed Trevors. I'm an Anglican priest in the Diocese of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. I get to serve in the beautiful town of Shelburne, Nova Scotia, in the awesome parish of Church Shelburne that sits on the ancestral and on the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. I give thanks for you every single day. I thank God for the time you're spending with me, for the prayers you're offering in my behalf, and especially for all that you're teaching me and sharing with me in the comments and in the emails that you're sending me. So I don't know if you know this, but the United States had an election the other day, and it was close. It was much closer than I thought it would be, and the results were definitely closer than I think they should have been. Now, if you're checking out the news, or checking out YouTube, there's several vloggers that I admire who are saying the same thing. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of anger, and it's not about the other side. It's not about Republican versus Democrat or Democrat versus Republican. It's about the anger that I'm perceiving is more about, I thought I knew that person. How could they vote for that candidate? I was a friend to this person. I'm a family member of this person. I don't understand how they could vote for that candidate. Because it's not just about who had the better policies. For many, many, many millions of people, this election was a referendum on morality. And so the thing that I'm perceiving from these articles and from these emails and from these comments and from these vloggers, there's sort of like this consistent message that gets relayed back. I'm not interested in forgiving them. I don't want to forgive them. I'm not ready to forgive them. I'm not ready to move on. I'm not ready to go back to being the type of friends we were. And in this video, right now with you, what I want to do is I want to try to break up some of the confusion that I'm hearing in that statement. Because the idea that forgiveness and the restoration of a deep, meaningful relationship go hand in hand is not necessarily true. Now, if a person is seeking to restore a deep, meaningful relationship with another person that has harmed them, forgiveness is essential. It can't happen authentically without forgiveness. But forgiveness does not necessarily mean that you are looking to reestablish or restore a deep, meaningful relationship with someone who has harmed you. In a video about a month ago, I'll put it in the comments below, I talked about forgiveness and who benefits from it. And I watched the video, and I think it still holds water. But my premise is this. We are told all throughout the Bible to forgive our brother, to forgive our sister, to forgive those that have hurt us. But I would argue that the act of forgiveness, while maybe beneficial to the person that hurts us, right, may be beneficial to the person that we have a problem with because it might help them in their growth, primarily it is for us. It's about our health. Forgiving somebody is about our health, our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Carrying around anger and bitterness and frustration and all those other really, really negative feelings that we have that would elicit even the desire to forgive, carrying that stuff around is a huge burden. And it takes a toll. All right? It takes an absolute toll on you and I. So the idea of forgiveness is less about, I'm going to forgive you so that we can go back into a deep relationship, and it's much more about, I am going to shed from my shoulders, I'm going to remove from myself all of this negative energy that I have, that I feel towards someone or some experience or some moment. I'm going to let that go so that I can be free. So that I can be free to be the person that I want to be, that I need to be, that I'm meant to be. So forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about you. Letting go of that negative energy is about freedom for you. Relationships, deep, meaningful relationships, the ones we sometimes have with family members, the ones we have with our closest friends, they're based on how the other person or people remind us of ourselves or remind us of the person we hope to be. The closer we get with somebody, the more we know about that person, the more we know about that person. Sometimes the more they remind us of ourselves or the person we want to be, and we grow even closer. And that process takes time, and it takes energy, and it takes the commitment to get to know the other. And sometimes, like I think maybe some are feeling about this election, we perceive something in the other person. Because of the way they voted, we believe that we now see a new aspect of them, a new characteristic of them. And this new characteristic, it's a deal breaker. Right? This new characteristic has caused a rift in the relationship. Because when I look at that person, I no longer see myself. I am no longer reminded of myself. I'm no longer reminded of the person I want to be. It sucks. Right? It sucks that these deep and meaningful relationships have been damaged. I really hope they haven't been ended. But if they have, I'm certainly sorry for that as well. We're going to have to grieve these relationships. We're going to have to grieve this damage. We're going to have to grieve the end of some of these relationships. But don't confuse the restoration of relationship with forgiveness. No matter what happens in these relationships between now and the end of time, they may be restored, right? They may be repaired. They may be forgotten. But if you were sitting in my den and we were having a counseling session, I would tell you the same thing that I would tell anybody else. Don't worry about the relationship. Shed the anger. Forgive them so that you don't carry them around for the rest of your life. Forgive them so that you don't carry that negative energy around. Forgive them so that you can be free from that moment. Forgive them so that you can be the person you're supposed to be. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord make His face shine upon you. May the Lord lift up His countenance upon you. And I pray you will always know the blessings of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray also that whatever comes, your energy will be free, spent on what is most important to you in this moment and in the next. Amen.